Welcome back to the Garden with Joe and Holly radio show. A lot of information as we've pumped out to you each and every program. We're happy that you're able to be with us. Well, if you've got a question, it's time for question and answer time. You can submit that question to gardentalkradio@gmail.com. That's gardentalkradio@gmail.com. Or if you would like to give us a call, you can certainly do that on the Proclamation Goods hotline, brought to you by Proclamation Goods. The Proclamation Hotline brought to you by Proclamation Goods.
Proclamation Goods creates cookware for the eco-conscious home chef. Their pans are non-toxic, have a lifetime warranty, and are made in Wisconsin. Their award-winning stainless steel Proclamation Duo cookware set is a 12-inch skillet and a stock pot that doubles as a wok. Best of all, the skillet and stock pot hinge together to form a Dutch oven. It's 2 pans with the versatility of 10, empowering you to cook more with less. If you care about your health and strive for a more sustainable lifestyle, then Proclamation Goods is for you. Supply is limited, so order yours now at proclamationgoods.com.
We're always happy when people tune in to the program and give us a call at 1-800-927-SHOW. That's 1-800-927-7469. Whether they have a question or they just want to voice their appreciation for the program. And Jim did just that.
Jim, Parker, South Dakota. I listen to WNAX 570. Biggest radio signal in the country during the day. I love your show. I listen getting ready for church every week. I'm glad it's on. I love listening. I hope a lot of other people do. And you remind me with it, with the deal with the radishes. My dad was out there every year this time of year on top of the snow, and he loved them. So thanks a lot. Appreciate the show. You're doing great.
And he was referring to our conversation last week about cool season crops by just throwing the seeds on the snow and letting the natural progression of hydration and the soil temperature being proper for them to germinate. So we appreciate, Jim, you giving us a call. You can do just like Jim did at 1-800-927-SHOW, 1-800-927-SHOW. Holly, we're going to go to the emails and see what we can push through at the top of the hour.
Sure. So I've heard it's recommended that potting soil is not to be reused as like put in the compost or in the garden. What are your thoughts?
Well, if it is, our rule of thought is this. If it's in a 10-gallon grow bag or smaller, dump it out, start over. But whenever you start getting in the 12, 15, 20, 30, 45, 60-gallon grow bags, that gets a little expensive. And there's enough soil in there and enough microbial life in which it will revitalize itself. But also you're topping the grow bag off or the container off every year, which is helping that. So that would be our answer. Yes, if it's a small container, 1 gallon, 3, 5, 8, dump it. But if it's larger than a 10, save your money, just top it off. Or if you feel like, I had tomatoes in the bag, you can take about a quarter to a half of the bag out and then retop the bag with new compost. That would work. That would work for us, and we've done that. That's not something we've done that, and it's worked very well and saved money on that end as well.
Right. So the next question is, I am looking to get more soil for my raised beds this season. I am trying to use as many organic and natural products as possible.
Good.
If I call my landscape garden center and ask for some sort of topsoil or compost, am I getting quality soil, or should I just get like some bags or what? So with that being said, you don't want topsoil.
Well, first of all, you don't want to go with bags if you're filling raised beds.
Right.
Because a bag, let's just put round numbers to make it. If a bag is $10 and it's 1 cubic foot and you need, multiple, 2 or 3 cubic yards, you're spending multiple $100s.
Right. So for one, bulk soil is going to be the ideal price point for you. But you don't want topsoil. You want to find out if they have a raised bed mix. You want to find out if they just have some sort of compost mix. And you can ask the people who work at the landscape garden center, say I typically grow organically. What's the deal with this one? Do you have any recommendations? Tell them what you're looking for.
If they're selling bulk compost or soil mixes, they're not going to be selling toxicity leveled material. If you're in the Milwaukee area, Blue Ribbon Organics is a great source. We've gotten from them. It's worked phenomenal. And you want to call your local independent garden center that has a yard, a compost yard, something like that. And they will either have a very well-established brand in which they provide for the community, or they have made their own mix. And They have it tracked. Do they know where every single move has made through that composting process from the material that came in to the final product? And that is quality control, because the last thing that your independent garden center wants or your compost company wants is to have 5 or 10 or 15 semi-truck loads full of compost, and it's all toxic, and it's killing everybody's plants. So give them a call. We've never had a problem with compost that was bought in bulk at all. So good question. Hopefully we was able to answer that for you. Here's another question, Holly, for you. Any advice on how to get rid of bamboo? Well, you can move.
So planting bamboo is very risky.
Even in a container.
Even in a container. It's pretty aggressive and it spreads, and I would 130% not recommend it. So, but if you need to get rid of it, one thing you can do is you can try to, the roots grow 2 to 3 feet deep, so you can't necessarily pull it out. You could try, but they grow like these very aggressive roots.
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to just keep mowing it down. This should hopefully slow the growth, and eventually, if you can, especially if you can get below like the rhizome, it's going to help. So as soon as you see growth, or if you know where the growth is, if you can keep mowing it down, it will stop it from being able to photosynthesize and grow. Some people do use herbicides on it, but the other people have found that it doesn't do anything.
Well, we have a friend back home, and he decided to plant some bamboo in the yard. And it became very apparent very quickly that was a planting item that should not have been planted in the yard. He did everything. He covered it with black tarp. He mowed it over. I think actually like 4 or 5 years later, it finally went away. But he actually called the big glyphosate company. We won't mention name, but you know who we're talking about. And they said, well, our product won't touch it. So when the biggest chemical weed-killing company in the country tells you that the bamboo that you're growing, that their product won't touch it, that's some aggressive stuff. And there's a lot of good things that bamboo can be made out of, but you don't want to plant it in the ground. And if you're going to plant it in a container, and bamboo is a very pretty plant, if you're going to plant it in a container, you want to plant it in a container on a slab of solid concrete that has no cracks. You want to avoid planting it in a container on a patio where there's bricks, where that root can penetrate through the bricks. Solid piece of concrete that will prevent that from actually finding outside soil to root in and cause a whole lot of problems.
If you really like bamboo for whatever reason,
and there's nothing wrong with
that, but maybe you're growing it to dry it for decoration or whatever, then you may want to look into just purchasing the decorative bamboo.
Right.
If you just think bamboo is cool, then maybe get something for your desk, or like a little houseplant bamboo type thing. One of those, I think they're called like little lucky bamboo plants. Don't plant bamboo. All
right, next question. I live in Wisconsin. I listen to your radio show every Saturday morning, and you've talked about pole bean rust on those plants. I've had it in my bush beans as well. Is there anything I can do to prevent it from occurring again this growing season?
Well, if you got it last year, you should have pulled those plants out and threw them away. Hopefully, you
but
did
it is an airborne.
It is an airborne
spore or thing.
The good news is that it kind of usually comes at the end of the growing season. So if you do get it again, I would just continue to keep tossing those plants.
Even if the leaves are, and when we call bean rust, it actually looks like it's very brown substance on the leaves of the plant, and when you touch it, it's like you touched a rusty piece of metal. That's why they call it rust. And even if the beans themselves are not affected by the disease, the problem, you still do not want to eat them because it is the plant is infected. Now, whether or not you're going to get sick, I don't know. I'm just telling you, my expertise says don't eat the beans, don't eat fruit or vegetables from any diseased plant. Okay, that's just how that works. But it will come in, and this is the same thing that occurs in the large, big ag industry with soybeans. It's a rust that comes through the state, county. The ag office will send out notifications going, it's here. So you don't want to burn it. You want to just get rid of it. composting it. I think just throw it in the trash is the safest means. And then if you can avoid planting in that area again, just for the off chance that it may still be somehow in that area, but it comes through the air, it comes through spores, and we've had years where we've had none, and then we've had years where it's just been ba-boom. It's kind of like late blight in the sense of it's a swing and a miss, or it's everywhere.
Right.
Hey there, gardeners. Thanks for checking out this segment of the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show. If you like what you've seen, you can search through the channel and find full in-studio videos of the entire show. If you want to go another route, you can search for it on your favorite podcast platform by searching the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener radio show or the Gardening with Joey and Holly radio show, and you can download it and take it with you. You can check out all past seasons at our website, thewisconsinvegetablegardener.com, under the radio tabs at the top of the page. We thank you for joining us. We hope you've learned and enjoyed the show, the segment, and we'll see you next time.